So we're both sitting here. I'm envying Colleen because she got to go to bed at 8 o'clock last night. Like, does that, what says you're old other than that?
I know friends of mine on Thanksgiving Eve always have folks over after they have their dinner, and I sat there on my sofa and I said, I can't do it. I am so tired. I'm not even sure that it was safe for me to drive.
Yeah.
And I just crawled into bed. And I mean, it was, and then I'd gone to all the stores. I'm trying to give everybody by the time, this would be, it's Black Friday right now, and this would go next week or something like that. So I was trying to give everyone a long weekend, and there was supposed to be like a lot of snow, and so we bust our asses all week and move some snow, and then more snow coming, and I was like, I think that there's the physical exhaustion, and then there's just the mental exhaustion.
Yep. Yeah, I thought for, okay, it's the holiday season. We're in it, man. It's past Thanksgiving, and it's going to be a short hop to Christmas this year.
Yeah.
We've got a few fewer days. So at Fantasy Gifts, are all the stores ready for Christmas? I've been meaning to ask
we
you.
are. That's one of the things I did. I was in bed, I woke up early, and I did a shitload of social media, because when I was at the store yesterday, I took pictures of all the Christmas displays and all that sort of stuff, and took some pictures. We've got, there's always stuff coming in.
Yep.
So I've got a couple pallets worth of dildos in the garage, and those will be going out next week. But all the sports sheets went out. That's all the cutest bondage stuff.
Cute bondage stuff. That's hilarious.
The Uber Lube came in. Just a whole bunch of stuff. And, it just keeps coming in, because people get their serious shopping done for their kids, and then they go do their personal shopping.
Yep.
So, last year was the first time we did a Black Friday thing in forever. We called it Ball Busters. We got a special deal on a couple of things, but nothing really landed at the right time this year. We actually had 3 or 4 people ask us, and I'm like, oh damn, I never really had to deal with it, And I'm like, oh well, next year will be our 40th anniversary anyway, so maybe I'll do something. Yeah.
Oh my
40.
gosh.
But we have, we always have good deals in the bins in different places at some of the stores. When we get good deals, that's where we put them. But I was just like, oh. I've actually avoided really the Black Friday for 39 years. It looks like I might have to jump into it in my 40th year.
Yeah, well, that's pretty cool. Speaking of cutest little bondage items, so I tell you, I don't know if I mentioned or not, but I got BritBox TV.
I've got Acorn. I've downloaded BritBox, but I haven't pulled the trigger and actually giving them a credit card.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. We are having an absolute blast. Can I just tell you that the British crime shows make ours look just pathetic. They're so much better written. I can't even tell you.
One of the things too is, if you notice, they only do anywhere between 4 or 6 episodes a year.
Right.
And, we got writers here that are trying to crank out 13 to 24 episodes.
Yep.
That's changing a little bit with Netflix and lots of other places. They're bringing in smaller stuff, but all I've noticed though, since I've watched a lot now.
Yep.
I'm like, oh look, there's the old aging rock star trope, and there's the
yeah.
Yep. I'm recognizing all of the tropes. There's always a cricket episode, and there's also it is hilarious. There'll be some sort of small town fete, episode. It's hilarious.
Well, I just think the writing is spectacular, and the character development and everything else. But that said, because you said bondage, and then the next story is about bondage in Britain.
Oh, cool.
And it made me think of BritBox. So this is how our ADD rolls here on the Great Northern Sexcast. So Love Honey, which is a sex toy brand, and they do, I got to give those guys a lot of credit, because they do a lot of surveys and things like that to get press, and they do a really good job of it. They really do. So this one was British British's favorite fantasies. Britain's favorite fantasies.
Okay.
BDSM is one of the most common. So they polled 4,500 people. So that's pretty good size,
Yep.
And the spanking was the average top number one. 70% of people actually tried it. And for women, it was 75%. But men, it was only 65 who, because blindfolding for men was their favorite. Men and women, also both 66% said they had experimented with restricting vision in the sack. So
we just got a whole bunch of new blindfolds in. So
did you? Okay, so are they just like all cute and
little
stuff?
They're satin, black, pink, and red. I don't know. So we were busting out so much stuff last week, but I do know there was just an amazing amount of stuff from Sport Sheets that came in.
Okay. Okay. So here are the stats, how they came in. Top 5 for both sexes. Women's number 1 was spanking at 75, tying each other up 67, blindfold 66, nipple play 64, and biting 62. So,
well, we've got stuff for the first 4 of those. It's not because it can be a little different. Biting, you just got to have your own teeth.
That can't help you with that. Call Aspen Dental.
Cannot. Yeah, nope.
Yep. Men, number 1 was blindfold at 66, spanking 65%, tying each other up 64%, nipple play 63, and biting 52. So overall, women were more enthusiastic about all this stuff than men. So there you go. I just have to throw this in here because it's a whack animal story that I found. It's really not the animal's fault.
Okay.
A group of drug traffickers were overheard on a wiretap complaining that pigs had found their cocaine stash. And this happened in Italy. They arrested 4 suspects after they heard them lament that a pack of wild boars had dug up enough cocaine worth $22,000 and scattered the contents throughout a forest. They're feral hogs. Can you imagine coked up feral hogs?
Because these things are vicious little fuckers.
I know.
I mean, just going through there, they root up everything. They'll eat anything. Yeah. That's also a British trope, being eaten by a feral hog. But
wow, okay.
Yeah, I saw that in at least 2 shows. I don't think you need the coked up feral hogs. That is
it's terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, okay, this is not funny, but it's actually true. My mother's, it would have been my great uncle. He was long deceased before I was born. Passed away in his hog pen, and they ate him. They ate him.
Yeah. Yeah.
They will do that. Yeah. Okay. So Florida man's been busy again.
So it just general Floridiness or anything holiday themed Florida?
No, but it's pretty. It's pretty good all around. It hits several buttons. Yep. Florida man got pulled over for driving 90 in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. Said, "Listen, I'm in a hurry because I was cheating on my wife." That's not what got him per se hauled in. It was the crack cocaine in his T-shirt pocket that he said, "Yeah, I paid $50 for that." And that's what kind of got him arrested.
Well, what's sort of fascinating is that if someone's just pulling over for speeding, there's absolutely no reason for a police officer to search your car or do anything. So if he volunteered this, then go for it. But you do not have to have your car. There needs to be a reason to search.
Yep.
Well, so the Florida man not only spent, but he just volunteered.
Well,
it's just like,
here's the other thing, though. I bet you this is how they got him. So a really good friend of mine is married to a defense attorney, and after a couple of very bizarre traffic stops up by our cabin, there's this one particular cop that has stopped us like 3 times, and we've never gotten a ticket. So he's always like fishing, okay? And I was talking to her about it, and it's fine. I understand that they have a job to do, but it was getting to the point where it was like too much, okay? And so I was talking to this defense attorney, and he told me a few things that were pretty fascinating. They will talk to you and ask you a bunch of questions to see if they can get you to step into something else. And I'm sure that's probably how that happened, is some question. And the truth of the matter is, if you know how they say, have you ever been pulled over by a cop?
Twice, both for speeding, and I was speeding. But we just dealt with that. There wasn't anything else.
Okay. Because I can't tell you how many times I've been asked, so where are you going? Where have you been? Well, guess what?
You don't have to answer any of that shit.
No, you don't. And a lot of people, I don't think enough people realize that you do not have to chat. All you need to
say is, am I free to go?
Yeah.
Am I writing a ticket? Am I free to go?
Yeah.
And you can say that whether you're anywhere. Am I free to go? Because then they realize that that you're, not to go through there.
Yeah. I mean, and so the other thing that I learned from this fabulous defense attorney is you really do not have to roll your window all the way down. You just have to crack it enough to hand your driver's license and your insurance through. And if they ask you to roll it all the way down, you can decline. And that's perfectly okay. So anyway, I bet you he just was kind of an idiot, which I'm sorry. If you're on crack and cheating on your wife, you're an idiot.
Yeah. I mean, he started off right there.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a smart guy. I have to give the guy credit for thinking of the important thing because I could see how this could go horribly wrong. A guy in Hawaii went surfing with his girlfriend and decided to propose on the surfboard in the water on a wave. Okay. And just as he was trying to hand her the ring, he dropped it. Well, he brought 2 stand-ins because he knew that there was a chance that would happen. The real ring was back on the beach.
So these are stunt rings. This is a smart guy.
I love it. And he had 2. And he did, in fact, drop the first one. So it was the second stunt ring that they used. And then when they got in, there were photographers there and all of that kind of stuff. And it was in Waikiki. Isn't that cool?
That is really sweet. I have been to several different areas in Hawaii. And, I mean, Waikiki is nice, but it's really crowded, depending on when you're going. I really prefer the Big Island. Now, mind you, I'm lucky, that I've been able to go there. Volcano. Yeah. And so you got to sort of watch where you're going and, stuff like that. But Hawaii is one of the closest places you can be and be in the United States, but not feel like you're in the United States. Although, honestly, when I was in New Mexico, I sort of felt that way when I was up in Santa Fe.
Really?
Because the city was so old, and it was used to be Mexico, that it's retained a lot of some of its, former ownership's, vibe. And that's really cool, too.
Yep.
Yeah, at least he's a smart person, because there are women out there, and I don't know whether I sent you the story or not, and someone else has sent me, that are using, that are not thinking, that are not using their best, that are using electric toothbrushes to masturbate with.
Yes.
Okay.
You did.
I did send that to you.
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure where you're going, but I'm I'm flipping through this, and people are, and I'm like, I am never surprised anymore about the people who use inappropriate products to do that. But there are better products. They're made for that. And if you're using the toothbrush part, there could be bacteria. Even if you've wrapped it with something, it's going through there. It's just not made for that. There's something out there called the Aerosolator, which I'm pretty sure you can still get online. We used to carry it, but it hit like a price point that didn't make people going through there. And now there's the Satisfier and a few other things that are much lower in price point that have more of ultrasonic vibration versus a more traditional vibration. And they also have little suction and stuff like that. But when you start doing that, and then depending on whether you're cleaning something or do that, there's just too many things that are not appropriate.
The thought of a vibrating toothbrush on my clit does not turn me on.
No. And like I said, I'm not there. There's some. No, once again, there are appropriate tools for the job, and that is not one of them.
Thank you. Is that our PSA for the week?
That's the PSA for the day.
Well,
we're talking about, here's a smart guy.
Yeah.
But then there were other people doing non-smart things.
Right.
And I just, in case I couldn't remember whether I sent that to you or not.
I'm just really glad that they're only masturbating, because we definitely don't need any more of them to reproduce.
Yeah. No cleaning of the uterine area with the toothbrush.
Right. Right.
Although, who knows? They could be.
Yeah. Well, let's just go to the other story that you sent me. I laughed. This is a pun intended, my ass off. Perineum sunbathing. Just set her up, Colleen.
There are people, most of them are into yoga and all that holistic stuff, who are going outside, stripping down, usually in a private place or stuff like that, raising their legs up and sunning their assholes.
Yes. According
to them, it gets a lot more vitamin D into you if you sun your asshole. Well, now, the hilarious part about this now is that there's been 2 or 3 people that have posted this story, different stories. It's been going like crazy all over all social media out there, and I'm sure you've probably seen it by the time you've heard of this. But what the blowback on this now is that people are actually angry about this. And I don't understand. One, it's funnier than hell.
Yeah.
2, honestly, when you think about it, sunshine could probably use a little ass. And if you're doing that, you're outside, you're in. There's nothing that can. Unlike other things, I suppose you could sunburn your bum if you're not paying attention. You're out there too long. But it's honestly unlike other things that people do to their bodies. There's no harm here. If somebody wants to put sun on their butthole,
okay,
what's the big deal?
Who's mad at who?
I was running through. There's a lot of people have posted this stories, and then people are just getting angry at the stories, and they're talking about what a bunch of morons do that. Instead of just looking at it going, not something I would do, it's sort of silly and moving on.
Yeah,
they're having to just vent their anger over something. I'm like, are they just so welled up with anger about everything that they can't even see the humor? In sunning?
At the very least, they could say that it increases the chances of more methane gas emissions.
Yeah, I don't know. But the photos are hilarious. The first
hysterical.
one I saw was just, I'm like, and then another guy, and I'm just like, and I'm just thinking, if you have a really, these are really thin people, so it's probably easier to raise up and spread your cheeks. If you're really big, I'm not sure that the sun can ever get to your asshole.
Well, they're trying to debunk where the sun doesn't shine.
Yeah. But I saw the article.
Yeah.
And I read it twice, and then 2 days later, I saw another article, and I'm reading it, and I'm just thinking, it makes no sense to me. But if this is something that somebody wants to do, fine. I can't. Usually, I can come up with a reason. Not really. I suppose depending on where you are, you could fall off of something or roll over weird. It doesn't look like the particularly.
But still, it's
interesting.
You're only hurting yourself.
Yeah, there is nothing here that could possibly be concerning another human being.
There's a lot of bitter people calling.
Yeah,
a lot of bitter people.
And I'm just like, folks that are naturalist nudists. I suppose you have to sort of work to get sun on your butt.
Yes.
That part of your butt.
Well, and they're spreading.
They're spreading.
They are the picture. Yeah, you should look it up. It's pretty good. Did you put that on the page?
I may or may not.
Okay, we got it.
I know. If I send it to you, that means I send it to Megan.
Okay, because the pictures are hysterical. Check out the Great Northern Sex Cast Facebook page because this is good stuff right here.
I just wanna. It's like, it never occurred to me, but then again, I don't really pay attention to a lot of holistic yoga and all that sort of stuff.
So here's something that I think is fair to spark a little outrage, by certain affected individuals. Okay. Gender reveals. I think those
another
are
one?
stupid as shit.
No one. Did anyone die this week?
No.
Okay, because the shrapnel one from 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago,
killed a grandma in Iowa. I beg your pardon. But they've also led to a car fire, a wildfire too. And now that's, this one led to a plane crash. So the NTSB, National Transportation Safety Board records show that this incident, and let's just set aside the fact that this happened in a town called Turkey, Texas. There is a place called Turkey, Texas. Where do you live, Turkey?
Okay.
Yeah, just saying. All right. Anyway, this happened in September. The pilot was flying at a low altitude in a particular type of plane when he proceeded with the gender reveal stunt, which involved dumping 350 gallons of pink water. But apparently... the plane got too slow, aerodynamically stalled, it hit the ground and flipped. The passenger, Jennifer Harrell, was reported to have suffered minor injuries. The plane had no pre-impact mechanical failures or malfunctions, and the plane is toast. And he was doing this for a friend. Okay,
so what I'm trying to figure out, just from the plane's going to be fair up in the air. I don't care how much water you have or what you dyed it. Are you actually going to be able to tell what color the water is?
Thank you.
Okay, for a second I thought you were going to do somehow they managed to dye the smoke. When people do skywriting.
Yeah.
I cannot figure out how in the world dyed water would be remotely visible. However, I
see. It never ceases to amaze me, Colleen. that you say you are bad in school, because that is you would be the best juror ever.
Oh, I'm sure I would never get sat on a jury.
You should be a professional juror. You will pick out shit like that. That's brilliant. I didn't even think about that.
I'm not even sure, even if the plane hadn't crashed, that you would have, how would you have ascertained, this would work?
What's the water going on to? If it's going on to the people, does everybody's clothes get stained?
Yeah.
There's so many questions. He's upset that you have socks on your feet.
Yeah.
Fred the studio dog is trying to indulge his foot fetish, but Colleen is wearing socks.
Yeah, it's sock weather. My toes prefer to not have socks on them. But at one point, I just have no choice. There has to be socks.
See, and I get hot flashes on my feet. So that's why I have currently bare feet right now.
Oh, I had flip-flops on the other day for that same reason. I'm bundled up, and I had grabbed flip-flops because I'm like, I was here, I was really warm, but so I just brought flip-flops to the office and changed into them. But to go outside, though, I put back the shoes.
There's nothing worse than being dressed up in a corporate situation and have your feet get uncontrollably hot, and if you've got boots and tights on, it's
there's nothing. Yeah,
no, it's bad. Okay, this story is in here just because of the sheer. I wanted you to opine, okay? Because there's so many things happening with regard to this story. I can't even tell you. And I'm not a money shamer by any stretch of the imagination. I think especially like somebody like your company, Fantasy Gifts, that was started by your dad, and you employ people, like, good for you all, entrepreneurs. I do wonder, however, who would ever find it necessary to carry a $30,000 purse, an Hermes purse. Did you hear about the woman that's suing a country club because the waiter spilled red wine on her $30,000 Hermes purse?
Okay. I did not hear about that. I did hear, though, that for that expensive, really freaking expensive purses like this are actually, like, people buy things for, like, collectibles, think they're going to make money on them. Yeah. But really expensive purses now, people are, like, buying, only owning for a little bit of time or holding it, and they're actually selling them for more than they bought them for. So, but once again, if you own something and you're not willing to lose it, then you shouldn't bother owning it. As per se, you know what I mean?
Right. Okay, two things here. So she files, her name is Mariana Bader, and it's a New Jersey country club, so she sued them. And the country club has now turned around, and they are suing the waiter. So no. Oh, right. No. So here we go. There's so many things here. If you're going to have a purse that's that expensive and you take it out into public, and if a waiter spills, how can you prove? It's an accident, And then the attorney for her is now bitching at the country club, saying it's bad business for him to sue the waiter, for them to sue the waiter. And I'm just like, I think you're all a bunch of fucking assholes, first of all, and a spill. It's a spill, right?
Yeah. It's just you just can't be willing. I just flabbergasted at this. And personally, I hope that someone represents the waiter so that they can sue both of the other people for intentional distress and being assholes.
Yeah, I really wish that there could be an asshole award. There should be an asshole award.
Well, yeah. There are many states that have anti-slap stuff. Just those lawsuits that people do to try and shut you up. Minnesota had one, but then it got pushed out for being unconstitutional because we have something in our state constitution about everybody gets their day in court, which means that anybody can sue for anything.
Okay.
And it's really bad. But but they did manage to, like, pull the licenses to practice law from a few people that were doing this. So it's going through. But the idea of this sort of shit.
I know. It's just, and you know what? If you can afford a $30,000 purse, I think that's a preposterous thing to spend that money on. I mean, that's worth more. It should be insured because like my, wedding rings, like not all wedding rings are whatever. And those are insured. So that should be covered by your homeowner's insurance.
Yeah. I mean, and you have to have an extra,
an endorsement.
Extra rider for an excessive amount of jewelry and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I mean, so, whatever. I think the whole thing is just, it's sad. And I feel really sorry for this waiter who has to retain counsel now, because
I'm hoping that there are probably folks out there that would help them with that.
I hope so. I certainly hope so. And by the way, an umbrella insurance policy, which I buy because I have pit bulls. And I just, it's worth it, every single penny. And if you're going to be parading around with, whatever, you should have one. Okay, I'm off my soapbox.
Yeah.
All right. This is an interesting story here.
I just tore a nail.
Oh.
And there's this little section, and if I don't take the little edge off,
it'll drive you insane.
It'll drive me insane, and I will catch it on shit.
I get you. I always have to stop and do that when I snag. Okay. So there's a story that was posted by Psychology Today. So there's some cred to this. Basically, researchers have found that single people may be better off than people in all but the very happiest of romantic relationships. So they measured romantic relationships and singlehood, and they found, factor, being single is better than being in a bad relationship. But by 6 of the 7 measures they looked at, only the people in the committed romantic relationships who were doing better than single people were the ones who rated their relationships at the very top of the scale. So emotionally, everybody else, they say married men live longer and all of that other kind of crap. So yeah.
Wait a minute, they're just talking about happiness here, or the sense
happiness
of well-being?
And emotional health, not just related to. So the questions were really about you as an individual. But if they asked you if you were single, and they asked you if you were in a committed relationship, and then they'd ask you, okay, how would you rate that relationship? And the only people that fared better in all the emotional quotients, or as well as the single people, were the ones that had the tippy top rating on their romantic relationship. It's kind of interesting.
Probably, well, there's all the stuff that goes into relationship, whether it's money, children, jobs, stuff like that. Yeah. If you're going through a bunch of crap and you're sort of headbutting on those things, I mean, of course, then being single, you still have those problems, but you don't have to worry about another set of problems.
Right. And but let me
but it still doesn't make sense that it would be that many. So it just seems like there was somehow or way that it was skewed. I don't know. It like I said, obviously being single is better than being in a shitty relationship, but it shouldn't be better than being in even a good relationship. And that's what they're saying, that it's even, that people are happier. I mean, you could see like exhausted relationships, long-term, not fulfilled relationships, or relationships just for convenience, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But even just a good, I'm confused by that.
Yeah. And I'm going to parse this just a little bit in a way that you would. If you could say that you're maybe, so maybe you're married with kids and there's this very happy single person, and you rate your marriage as good. And maybe one of the reasons you say it's good is you've got a kid that's being a pain, or it's expensive to raise a kid and you might be grousing or whatever. I don't think that people would say, I wish I hadn't had the kid. Yeah. Oh. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a thought there that I don't know if I'm really sure.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I think a large part of that is that at one point you're comparing apples to apples, but another point then you veered, and what's going on. It
right. Right. I don't know. So I we'll see.
I'd like to see the actual questions on that. That seems interesting.
Yes, I know. Okay. So I probably should have mentioned this when the sunbathing buttholes story right after, because it kind of is a fun companion to it. But this is a guy, 29 years old, i.e. old enough to know better.
Yeah, because generally around between 24 and 26 is when your brain is done.
Okay.
You're still learning shit up to that point. You're still, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, this guy blasted a firework from his butt and filmed it, and it went viral, and he got kicked out of his house. His stepfather thought that was the dumbest thing and said, "You can't come home," and got kicked out of his house. Jordan Buchan.
When he was, I was going to where like he lost his job as a firefighter because he was doing something dumb with fireworks.
Yeah,
but there's no way that this was the only stupid thing this person did. Because this ranks way up there, and they hear "Hold My Beer, Stupidity Land."
Yeah,
but it still doesn't. I don't think it ranks up to unless there's other stuff going on. It's the only thing that would screw up some sort of relationship.
Well,
he's
a fishing trawlerman by trade, and his dad's like, "Yeah, you can't come home." Well, he's 29, so maybe he needed to move out anyway.
Yeah, this could be the one thing where I'm like, okay, it's,
if you have time and money to do this shit,
yeah,
you can get your own place. Okay. Okay.
Did it say what sort of firework? Was it like one of those Roman candles with the measured things, or just a?
It was a rocket.
A rocket. So like a.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, this is... I don't know. Okay, this is a pub in Britain. I love the name of this. Actually, I think it's...
Sounds good.
Yeah. It's...
I'll have to go get a beer. Sorry, I'm
town
totally
is
distracted by that concept.
Stockton-on-Tees, County Durham. So it could be Ireland, actually. They might be losing their license because they had a competition on their Facebook page, and a dildo was the prize.
Okay.
So the review board is pissed about that, but Craig Harker is the business proprietor. He's also accused of promoting violence because the question was, would you punch your ex for a steak? And the winner gets a dildo. It doesn't say if they have to write in or whatever. There was no fighting or anything like that. But the council called a license review, and he might be losing his license to do business. And he thinks it's ridiculous. And he says, come on, man, we're all just having a good time. It's a bar. Like, get over yourself.
Once again, probably not the first dumb thing this person has done, because otherwise I don't think it would get that far.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how a dildo makes an appropriate prize for that sort of question.
I don't either.
Poor cold.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry for coughing, people. I am so sorry.
Believe me, it's that season. It's because it's everyone's been inside. You've been around a lot of people.
I'm suffering. Mm-hmm. Okay, a couple of weird ones coming up here that are kind of intriguing. I'm terrified at this particular story. There's a Utah man that was accused of groping another passenger on a Salt Lake City bound flight. They had to divert to Tulsa to arrest him, and now he's charged. Yeah,
I'm glad they're doing this shit, because I honestly don't think that 20 years ago they would have done this. They would have diverted. They would have considered that sort of assault worthy of stopping the plane.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean it's awful. This guy is a 32-year-old man. He was charged by federal prosecutors. The FBI said that he touched the arm of a woman next to him, and she pushed his hand away, and then he grabbed her crotch, and then she pushed him away and told him to stop, and then he held up his hands and said he was sorry, but too late.
No, that's
and she was flying with her daughter. For
that's
God's
a
sake.
Shitload of entitlement right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Flight attendants moved the woman and her daughter to a different seat. And they were flying from North Carolina to Salt Lake, and they stopped in Tulsa. And he was also charged with public intoxication. Mm-hmm. But listen to this. Listen to this one. This is unbelievable. The FBI received 63 reports of sexual assault on airline flights in fiscal 2018. That is up from 38 in 2014.
I think both numbers are probably higher. Just people weren't saying anything, and now they're finally saying something.
Right, and that's what the FBI said. No, you got the closing line of the story. Not only is she insightful, she is psychic.
Honestly, I wish I was, because then I would know about all the shit that's broken. And then get it fixed before, or that sits around and people tell me, by the way, the vacuum doesn't work. And honestly, there were 5 broken vacuums out here, right?
Yeah.
I tore them all apart. Only 2 of them were actually broken. The other 3, I don't think anyone, because either the canister types. By the way, people, just totally public service has nothing to do, mind you, don't with sex. These canisters, they have filters. They need to be cleaned. Mm-hmm. It isn't magical. Just emptying the canister is not cleaning the vacuum. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I just went, my freaking God. I mean, because sometimes I have fun. I get to go out and take a look at new merchandise. I mean, the fact is, right over here on my desk.
Okay.
Right over here. I think this is going out. Right here. This is a fun thing. This is a Booty Sparks light up butt plug. Featuring 3 LED light patterns. I'll probably be doing a little video, but I can't quite figure out the on-off button. So I wasn't going to bring it up. But I'm saying this is the fun part. I'm looking at this thing. I was playing with this, just over here. I came in, and I'm like, okay, this is fun. Tearing apart vacuums is not fun. And okay. I would like to be, omniscient, so that I would know about this stuff beforehand, so that I could spend more times with the fun things, which I will probably be making a video as soon as I can figure how this works.
Okay, I need to back you up for just a second.
Sorry.
So Colleen has a chain of called Fantasy Gifts and stores that sell sex toys, and stores need to be vacuumed every day. And you were just ranting about broken vacuums that you fixed yourself, which I'm very impressed about.
Yeah, I pulled the suckers apart, no problem.
But if you can fix a vacuum and you can't figure out the butt plug, what's wrong with this picture?
I know. I think it might have to do with the fact that I'm just not holding the little button down long enough. But the problem is that I'm right-handed, and I've got 2 braces on my hand right now. So I actually have very little grip strength or pinch strength. So I'm thinking that's my problem.
Okay.
But honestly, it's called Booty Sparks, and I'm pretty sure it's going out to the store sometime next week.
See, if that guy in Britain had only used that instead of shot a firecracker out of his ass.
Yeah, there's appropriate light-up things for your butt. Not fireworks.
Okay.
Well, I didn't think of that before. But okay, so we're just, but I just, like I said, I don't get to do
vacuum cleaner, butt plug. I get the connection.
Yeah, sorry.
It's a straight line, Colleen. Yeah, crystal clear.
Fun things versus not fun things. I am not. I would like to be psychic, because then I would spend more time, like I said, dealing with fun things versus dumb things.
Can I just point out something to you?
Okay.
If somebody wanted to be psychic, most of the reasons they would say would be like to win the lottery. You want to fix shit that's broken before it breaks.
No. I get things. It's the thing. And anyone out there who owns a business probably knows this, is that you're like, oh, that's right. It's, like the fax machine, when we used to have those on a regular basis, aren't working, or the laptop's not working, or by the way, the outlet, has become loose or something like that.
Yep.
And I find out and then I hear, it's been that way for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks. I said, how am I supposed to know?
Yeah.
How? I don't understand. I was just, just something the other day where I just, I have like a 3-page memo going out to, staff. And one of the things on there is stuff like that.
Vacuums.
Yeah. I just need to, Mm-hmm. Not everything about sex toys and owning a business that sells them is glamorous.
I get that. Mm-hmm. I do. This is a really creepy story that I'm going to tell you right now. There's a rapper his real name is Clifford Harris Jr., but he goes by T.I., okay? I don't know him. Do you? Mm-mm. No, I don't either. He was on a podcast called Ladies Like Us, and he says, he told the hosts that he takes his 18-year-old daughter, Deja Harris, for this freaks me out so bad. Yearly trips to the gynecologist to check her hymen to see that it's still intact, and that it is. He said the
you do realize that hymen it's like a made up thing.
I know.
It doesn't really.
I know.
One way or
Women
another.
were killed in medieval days, though.
Yeah.
For if they broke,
it's a social construct. It has nothing to do with actual virginity.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
I know.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yep. He told him that the doctor says that the thin membrane at the opening of the vagina can be broken in different ways, including through physical activity. And here's a quote, "But I say, look, doc, she don't ride no horses. She don't ride no bike. She don't play no sports, man. Just check the hymen, please, and give me back my results expeditiously." Well, NBC News picked this up and said,
honestly, if she's been doing this for 18, this would be like assault.
That's what I think. Mm-hmm. I think that's creepy. It's none of his fucking business. And she's 18 now. Mm-hmm. And, people took exception to him saying my results. His daughter's not his property. And, oh, God, everybody is going batshit.
Yeah. That is just whacked out shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Disgusting, possessive, and controlling are some of the tweets. And the podcast episode has since edited it out. Mm-hmm. But it's there, and we know about it because we're talking about it.
Yep.
I would like to say congratulations to doctors that successfully completed the world's first penis and scrotum transplant on a soldier whose genitals were blown off in a bomb blast. This happened.
So scrotum too, because we know there's been penis transplants, and there's been a couple of different things, and
yep. Yeah,
but
the scrotum.
The scrotum too.
Yep, Johns Hopkins University did this, and they had to invent new techniques. And this is amazing. I mean, it is a donated member. He can achieve a near normal erection. He can orgasm again, and long story short, there's no testicles. They took the testicles out because there was an ethical question about reproduction because they weren't his. It wasn't his semen.
Well, I was curious about that. I mean, after a while, would the body just make their own semen? I mean, they don't work on their. I don't know enough about how semen is produced to know whether or not.
Yeah.
Once you had multiple ejaculations, wouldn't it just work with the DNA that's in the body?
But no, because he doesn't have anything.
He doesn't have anything. Okay.
Okay. So this was a whole.
The testicles would have kept the DNA of the donor,
right? Which is why they took him out. So he's got the scrotum. They just removed the actual testicles.
Yeah. Well, the scrotum. Yeah. I mean, because ovaries for women. I mean, females are born with all the eggs they're ever going to have already in the ovaries.
Yep.
But are men born with all?
Well, the testicles produce sperm.
They produce sperm, but are they born? But if we're producing it, so they're still going to go with the old DNA. Oh, you got to
think about it.
Yeah.
Well, this is a pretty long. It's a pretty long article, and it also cites all the different breakthrough surgeries that have been done. Really, starting in this decade is when this all really got off the ground.
I mean, honestly, the United States has been in wars for 90% of its existence.
Yeah,
and a lot of the weapons now are designed to maim.
Yeah,
if they don't kill. Right. It's going through there.
And so this is an amazing, amazing hope. And the guy talks about psychologically what it's done. Now, there was one doctor that's chief residence there who argued against the procedure. And he says it's medically unnecessary. Here's a quote from this dickhead. He says, a penis transplant, quote, lacks both life-saving and life-enhancing properties when compared to a readily available alternative in phalloplasty. You know what? Fuck you. If the guy wants a new penis that works and it makes him happy after he got his legs and his junk blown off, shut up.
You know what we just...
What?
Speaking of legs, and then... Okay, so I didn't know about that. And sex. They're not out in the stores yet, but there's a local company in Savage, Minnesota that makes something called... hold on a minute. Let me.
We're going to look it up.
Makes a chair that you can intimacy chair.
Okay.
Now I'm going to have them displayed in all the stores coming up, but if you so that people can see them. Now I'm not going to sell them in the store because there's a lot of stuff that if you don't have use of your legs and a bunch of other things, it's more medical information than I'm comfortable dispensing.
Okay.
It's going through there, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to have. I'm going to have the displays in like 5 of the stores and the signage just as a reference for anyone who might need it. And this is a low sitting chair, and then you can buy like a little cot that goes with it. And if you can transfer yourself for the male onto the chair, you can glide back and forth.
Oh.
And for more for more of a traditional sex where
That's
you're
great.
more in control. And like I said, it's a local company. They they make other medical devices,
Yep.
but this is the one that is for like sex, and so it's all kept sort of separate.
Okay.
And there's other things that go through there, and the samples are going to be out in the stores hopefully by the end of maybe by the time you hear this or soon after.
Okay.
But that's going through there. Like I said, there's all this sort of stuff. Can you transfer? Can you do this? You need, it's not.
Yeah.
But generally for men who want to have a more traditional role that they've had, before they lost use of their legs or other things in sex.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's very uplifting. All of the stories that you heard today, we will be posting on the Great Northern Sex Cast Facebook page, and we are careening towards Christmas.
Yeah.
So we'll see you.
I was listening to Christmas carols while I was doing stuff.
I caught you. But it's okay because it's the day after.
It's the day after. And also, I've got Sirius Radio and it's totally cracks me. They have like 15 different Christmas channels.
Yep.
I was listening to the Hallmark one.
Oh, God. Okay. You are a sap. You're
I know, yeah. Also, and if you have Netflix, the Rob Lowe, Kristen Davis little Christmas in the Wild one.
Is it good?
It's really adorable. First of all, Rob Lowe has aged well, and there are baby elephants.
Okay.
Seriously, yeah. It was really fun.
Okay.
It was really fun.
Okay.